It is time, my friends. The Sephora savings event is here, and I'm so excited to share my picks and recommendations for you. Now, if I curated everything that I love from Sephora, this video would be 5 hours long and it would not be helpful at all because there would be so many products and it would overwhelm you. So for this video, I picked products that I'm currently loving, like as of recently, and products that maybe are newer launches that weren't in or available at the sale last time. So that's how we're gonna do this. We're gonna go category by category. I will have everything in chapters down below for you. So if you're not looking for a foundation, but maybe you're looking for lip products, you can just look down and skip right over to the lips and get the information that you need. Everything will be tagged in YouTube Shopping. Everything will be listed in the description box below. And let's go ahead and do this. Okay, let's start with foundation. Now this one was challenging, and I'm probably gonna say that for every category, but this one in particular was challenging because there are a lot of really amazing formulas and foundations at Sephora. And I've been covering the sale for 11 years. So I encourage you to check out like my videos from the last savings event, which was in November. I'll link that down below. And even the one before that, you can find lots of content and other recommendations if you want to consume all of that and just get all the information. But let's go ahead and start with the first foundation that we have. And this one is for those of you that love full coverage, like a soft matte finish and a foundation that is going to stay on your face for like 15 hours and you're not gonna have to worry about it, okay? That is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Impeccable Blurring Foundation. Now, this is a newish foundation. I believe this launched maybe last year. I wear the shade 2N. It is what I have on today. I do have a glowy blush, so this radiance that you're seeing is not from the foundation, it's from the blush product, which we'll talk about. But I love this. Whenever I need a go-to foundation that can really get me through an entire day, and I need it to look good. I don't want it to break down. I don't want it to crease and settle in lines. I don't want it to get shiny and oily looking. I don't need to touch up 100 times a day. Shoot, I don't even need to touch up really, maybe sometimes once or twice a day. I don't even need to do that. I can maybe get by. Maybe one time a day I will touch up, but this is such a great foundation. Who this is not for. This is not for, I did get some feedback recently from someone who I believe is in her 60s, and she said her skin is dry, and she said that this felt a little too heavy for her. So full disclaimer, this definitely is a full coverage foundation. So if you don't like full coverage and a made up look and you want something more natural and skin-like, I would skip this one. I've got another one for you. But if you are someone that wants the full coverage, the long wearing, and the matte finish, this one is my favorite from Sephora at the moment. Next, we're going to talk about a foundation that is pretty new to me. This came highly recommended from Nikki LaRose. She did my makeup last month and she used this, and I love this foundation, you guys. This is the Lawless Forget the Filler Skin Plumping Line Smoothing Foundation. And in this, I wear a shade 2.75, and it is a perfect match. This is very skin-like. This definitely gives a natural skin-like finish, meaning it's not going to be really radiant and dewy and glowy at all, but it's also not matte. It's really right there in that balance between the two finishes. It gives wonderful coverage. It feels lightweight on the skin. I feel like it does plump the skin. So if you have really dry skin or you feel like you have a lot of texture, fine lines, this will slightly plump the appearance of those fine lines, making them less noticeable. I do feel like this is very blurring too. I put this on and my skin looks airbrushed. It has great longevity. It wears beautifully throughout the day. This is a fantastic one. You know, I like to think like, okay, if I didn't do what I do for a living, if I didn't review beauty products and I was, you know, just kind of an average consumer of makeup, you know, I get it that most of you don't have 50 foundations. You have maybe 1 to 3 different ones that you love, right? This would definitely be one of those 3 for me. It really, really would, because it just can take me through the year. It can take me through summer. It can take me through winter. It's fantastic. Love this. Highly recommend. Okay, let's talk about the foundation that I would recommend if you want some radiance to the skin and you want that radiant glow, and that is the Haus Labs Skin Tech Foundation. I wear the shade 210 Light Medium. This is a beautiful radiant finish foundation. Now, I wouldn't describe this as being dewy. This is radiance that also dries down and sets. So it doesn't get progressively shinier throughout the day, which is what I want. I want a foundation that, again, is gonna last me all day. I live in Texas, it's hot, it's humid here, and I don't wanna worry about my skin looking greasy, 5 hours into the day. This one stays and wears so beautifully. It's lightweight. I would say it gives a good medium coverage. It's not a full coverage foundation, but I think most of us don't need full coverage. In areas that you do need a little more coverage, mix a little concealer with it. This is a great daily foundation. This is what I wear if I'm going out for a night and I want my skin to just look radiant and glowy and dewy and reflect in the photos that I'm taking. This is what I will wear. It's so good. The Anastasia Beverly Hills is a really great like photo shoot makeup. This is what I would wear on like a photo shoot. This would be what I would wear on like a night out. Both you can wear during the day too, of course, absolutely. And I would describe the Lawless as being like a great everyday foundation. I just love these. They're all so good. I'm excited to recommend these because I really, really love them. Who the House Labs is not for, let's cover that to be fair. House Labs I wouldn't recommend to an oily skin because it's got a radiant finish, and an oily skin might typically prefer more of a natural matte or like a soft matte finish because that radiance is just going to amplify throughout the day as your skin produces oil, and you might not like it. So that's just my little 2 cents. Okay, and the last foundation I want to share is for the person with very dry skin. Someone that wants a very hydrating foundation that looks beautiful and that stays put, that doesn't slide around the face, and that is going to be the Fenty Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint. Now it's described as a skin tint, but this gives great coverage. This gives all the coverage I need. You certainly can mix a little bit of a foundation in with it if you want a little more coverage, or you can apply a light layer of this and then apply a little foundation on top. But I'm putting this in the foundation category because when I wear this, I typically wear it by itself. I do not layer a foundation on it. This leaves the skin looking like you just applied a moisturizer. It is very, very plump, very dewy, very hydrating. But even though it is all those things, and I typically like a matte foundation, I can wear this because it doesn't feel heavy or greasy, and it doesn't look greasy either. It looks plump and moisturized, but not greasy. It's really beautiful, very long wearing. I wear the shade 6, and this is what I would recommend for dry skin. Okay, let's talk about concealers. Now, concealers was a bit of a challenge for me because, again, this is a category where there are a lot of wonderful, wonderful concealers at Sephora. I'm going to share 4 with you. And similar to foundation, each one is a little unique from the other. There are 2 in here that I think are maybe similar. But let's start first with a lightweight and very natural light coverage concealer. And for that, I would recommend the Say Beauty. This is the Slip Tint Concealer. I wear the shade 6. This has a very radiant finish, but I do feel like this dries down and it doesn't stay creamy and move around and settle in fine lines and creases. I will say, regardless of what concealer you're using, if you use too much of it and you don't properly apply it or blend it, you run the risk of it settling in creases. So whenever I hear this concealer won't crease, I don't believe it, because if you apply too much of that concealer, you don't blend it out of the way, I don't care what you're using, it will settle in texture because it's a makeup product and skin has texture and movement. But I will say there are ones that definitely lean to no matter what you do, they're going to crease, and none of these are those concealers, okay? This one's lightweight. If you want a very natural coverage, you don't want to look like you have a lot of concealer on, I would recommend this. It's got a really beautiful radiant finish. And it's Say Beauty, so it's a clean at Sephora brand. It's a great brand. I love Say. If you want the opposite and you want some full coverage, this is what I have on today, actually. This is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. And I just fell in love with this concealer, I would say over the last 6 months or so. I don't know if I covered this one in the last Sephora video, but I feel like it was around that time that I started to really love this and use this on the daily. I have it on today, and I have it on with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Impeccable. So today is a full coverage day. Who is this for? Someone that wants full coverage. It is super long wearing. You're not going to have to worry about this one moving around or fading throughout the day. This lasts all day long. Who is this not for? Again, someone that doesn't want a heavier full coverage look. It is heavier in full coverage by nature, but I don't feel like it looks heavy or cakey. I feel like if you apply the right amount, I do a little bit in the inner corner and a little bit in the outer corner. With the Say Beauty, you can get away with applying more, but with this one, you really want to just keep it right in the inner corner, right in the outer corner, and blend the 2 together. And blend well so that you absorb any excess product. But this is great. And this one, I wear the shade Pearl. I have a few shades of this, and Pearl is my favorite. It's bright enough, but it also has a peachy tone to it, so it neutralizes and cancels out that darkness. Okay, the next 2 concealers are 2 I would say hydrating skin-like concealer finishes, okay? First one is from Sephora. It's the best skin ever concealer. And with Sephora, the Sephora collection, I believe they are 30% off the brand throughout the sale. So regardless of what tier you are, you can get 30% off the Sephora collection. And I love this concealer. It's fantastic. I have the shade 08P. It's a little light and a little bright. I wear it, but the next shade up 9 is a better one for me. This is great. It's hydrating, it's creamy, it's not heavy, it blends out beautifully, it lasts all day. It's wonderful. The other one I would recommend would be the Tower 28. This one is a favorite too, and this one's very hydrating. This one's very lightweight, so easy to blend. Of these two, they're very similar. I would say the Tower 28 feels slightly lighter in like consistency than the Sephora, but the Sephora is not heavy or thick at all. This one's just very lightweight, very thin, but great coverage. And in this one, I wear the shade, I think it's 1E or either IE. So I don't know if that's a 1 or an I, but that's what I wear. It's a serum concealer, so it has that really nice serum consistency, ingredients in it that are good for the skin, hydrate the under eye area. If you haven't tried this one, you will love this one. Okay, let's move over to face powders. I have 4 face powders to share with you. I have 2 loose and then I have 2 pressed. So let's start first with the pressed powder. So the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in a compact. I love this one. This one's a really great lightweight pressed powder. Not heavy, not too matte and dry looking. It kind of has a soft matte finish. I usually just wear a loose, but this one on the days where I maybe want to brighten a little bit or I want a little bit of added coverage, I will go in with this one. And again, it's not too heavy or too bright. Let's take a little actually. We're going to take the N17 and I'm just going to kind of tap right here. It's also very blurring. I would say all of these powders are blurring with the exception of one of them. Yeah, this one's great. If you want a good powder for your purse, I don't think you can go wrong with this. It's so good. Okay, let's hop over to a loose powder. So if you have oily skin, I would recommend the one size loose powder. I have the translucent and this is the mini size. I also have the large one, but I just could find the mini for this video. This is very mattifying. It's not heavy, but it's not super sheer and lightweight either, but it's very mattifying. So this is gonna cut and take away any shine, any glow. It's also going to completely smooth out texture. So if you have pores like around here, it's gone. It looks like you are like editing a photo with a little airbrush tool and that texture is just bye-bye. Very good. I have heard complaints from people that are dry that think that this is too drying. So keep that in mind. This is really recommended for you kind of combination, oily skin types, normal too. I could apply a little bit of this underneath the eye, but you have to be very careful with this one underneath the eye. In fact, I regret actually telling you can do that because I think for most people, it is going to look a little dry underneath the eye. So keep that in mind. This is really great for the face. But the under eye skin is more delicate and very thin. It also is the place where we have the most texture, fine lines, expression lines. So you wanna make sure you're using a really fine light powder like the one that I'm gonna share next. Okay, also the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder. This is the shade Pound Cake and I love this shade Pound Cake. This is also a mini. I have this in large as well. This one I love. This is my favorite loose powder because of how lightweight and just finely milled this powder is. It's so lightweight, it's so velvety. It just gives this beautiful velvet blurred matte look to the skin, similar to the one size but lighter weight, okay? This one I do apply underneath the eyes. Typically what I will do is I will take my brush, I will load the brush up, and I will start here and then maybe apply a little bit here, then I will go underneath the eyes. The reason I don't go under the eyes first with my brush is because I don't want to apply a ton of powder there. You only need a little bit. And if you take your brush straight from here and go straight underneath the eye, you're going to apply most of that product on your brush there, and we don't want that. You want that here, then set the underneath eye. Love, love, love this. Okay, next up we have a powder unlike the last 3 that I've shared. This is a pressed version, and this is more if you like to keep a radiant look to the skin with your powder. Now, you can either do a couple things. You can buy it. This is the Hourglass Ambient Light Powder, by the way, and it comes in this palette, which I would recommend getting through the Sephora sale because, you know, Hourglass is a very premium luxury brand, and I always think that the best time to buy those products is when they're at discount. So you can just buy it in the compact if you just want the powder for the face. But this is going to give you, this is also going to give you, it's almost like a radiant matte finish. So if you have a very dewy foundation on, it's going to cut down some of that dewy wetness. Like, it will set it, but it's going to leave that radiant, light reflective quality to the skin. So it's really beautiful. I like to use this product at night when, again, I want some glow to the skin, but I want to set my foundation and I don't want it to feel wet or tacky on the skin. So this one comes with a light color. It comes with like a mid-tone color you could use for a highlight, and then you have a really pretty bronze shade. But if you just want the skin tone color and you want to know my shade, I wear the shade Luminous Light. These are really beautiful. They're very pricey, but they are worth it in my opinion. They are fantastic. Okay, let's talk about bronzers. Now, this was tough because, again, there's so many bronzers I love. So what I'm going to share with you today are kind of newer bronzers. I've got a couple of pretty brand new releases, and then I have a product that I have been using for about a year or so. I'm pretty sure I talked about it in my last Sephora recommendation, but so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's talk about the powder bronzers. I have two powder bronzers to share with you. Let's start first with, you are probably not going to be surprised by this one if you've been watching my videos, but the Dior Forever powder bronzer. I wear the shade 10 Soft Matte. I mean, look at this. I've hit pan. It's very rarely that I hit pan on anything because I have so much to use that I try different products all the time, but this one is so nice. This is a very soft, matte, velvety texture. It just glides on the skin so smoothly, very easy to blend. I love this color. It's just a nice warm bronzer. It's warm, but it's not too orange. I don't know if you can see that. It's beautiful. It's so easy to blend. It's buildable, so you can get a nice sheer application, or you can layer it if you want more. It's very easy to work with. For blush and bronzers, you really want to avoid products that are super pigmented off the bat. You want to be able to build those products up, or if they are very pigmented, they're very easy to blend. I love this. This is one of my favorite powder bronzers, period. A new powder bronzer that just launched recently, and I've been talking about this one more recently on my channel, is the Say Beauty Super Suede bronzers. These are lovely, you guys. These have a little bit of a radiance to them because they're baked bronzers. I have two shades. I have Amalfi, which is light to medium, and then I have Palermo, which is fair to light. And I use them both. The fair to light is actually a little deeper than you would expect it to be. Typically, I would always default to like the second shade, which is this one, and they work both. They're so great. They give a really soft radiance to the skin. These also are buildable, meaning you're going to get a soft wash of color with that first application, but then if you want more, you can build more. So you can really get a range of effects from this. Something soft and sheer, something a little bit more built up. They're beautiful. They're foolproof. They're easy to blend. I like the texture. I like how easy they blend. I love them. Okay, now this might be a little overkill. I have three like cream liquid formulas. I have one solid cream and then two kind of like cream liquids. Let's start with the brand new one because you haven't heard me talk about this one yet. This is from MAC, and this is the, what is it? It's like the strobe liquid bronzer, and this is the shade Flash Light. These are very nice, you guys. It comes with a doe foot applicator. This is the color of this one. It's really beautiful. These are so easy to blend. They're actually kind of sheer. They're on the sheer side. So it looks like you have a lot of pigment here, but when you start to blend this out, it really blends out beautifully. It's that strobe formula, so it's got a little bit of a glow to it and the softest, most subtle kind of pearl effect. You're not gonna see shimmer, you're not gonna see glitter. I don't wanna scare you with that word of that pearl, but it's really beautiful. I think this is great for those days where, I mean, you can certainly wear it on a day you wanna have like a full glam on, but this is really nice on the days where you don't, maybe you just wanna wear a tinted SPF, right? And you want a little bit of color. When you're just wearing a tinted SPF or you're not wearing foundation at all, it's difficult sometimes to go in with products that have a lot of pigment because it looks odd. You just can't get those other products to look as natural as the rest of the skin looks. This you can. You can get this to look very natural. So this is what I would recommend on the days where you want to skip foundation or you just want to wear a tinted SPF but you want a little warmth. Do you see how light and sheer that blended out? It's really nice. I like to wear this and then layer a powder bronzer on top, but this is a very beautiful formula and I do recommend it. Okay, so let's talk about another kind of liquid cream that is the opposite of what I just shared. This one has a lot of pigment. It is more challenging to work with than like the strobe. If you're a beginner, I would do something like this. If you are a makeup lover, makeup enthusiast, you know what you're doing, you feel confident, I would go with the Natasha Denona. This is the High Sculpt Liquid Bronzer, and this is the shade Bonfire. I love this product. Now this is very pigmented, so you just really need a tiny bit. And I know that looks like nothing, but you really just need a tiny bit, you guys. When I first bought this product, I made the mistake of applying what I thought I would need, and it was very difficult. I had too much product on my face, just too much. So what I would recommend when applying this is I would apply it on the back of your hand like this, kind of do what I just did. Take your brush and really like work your brush into the product, and then kind of go and blend some of that off, then go to the skin. You're gonna have a lot more control. But I love this because I love that color. Look at how beautiful that color is. It's warm, but not too warm or too orange. It's very long wearing. I put this on the other day and I just had such a beautiful makeup day. But again, it's not as user-friendly and as easy to use as the other, so keep that in mind. And the last product I wanna recommend is a product that I have used on and off for a while. And every time I like take a break from it and then I rediscover it, I'm like, this is one of the best cream bronzers. This is LYS, and this is their No Limits bronzer. This is the shade Harmony, and I want to recommend it because it's a cream bronzer. I don't love the packaging though, because the packaging, it's like you have to be really careful. Otherwise, you're gonna get like product all over the lid. So be careful and mindful about that. But this is such a creamy formula, you guys. It's very pigmented, but it's so creamy and so easy to blend. And it's a good price point. I believe already it's a great price point at Sephora. It's like one of the more affordable brands than with your additional discount. So I wanted to recommend this. If you're just kind of a little bit more budget conscious, this is a fantastic product at a great price. Okay, so let's talk about blush. I've got 2 cream formulas for you. I've got 2 powder formulas, and then I have kind of a hybrid of the 2. Let's start with this blush stick. You guys knew that this was gonna be in here. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Blush Healthy Glow Stick, and this is the shade Peachy Glow. This has been like my most worn blush, I would say, over the last 6 months. It's really beautiful. It's very peachy, so if you want a good peachy color, I highly recommend this one. It's super creamy, very easy to blend. It does leave a bit of a dewy look to the skin. I love this color, and it has great pigment. This is one of those blushes that you can put on and you're gonna have a good layer of pigment. It's not gonna be too much, but it's not a blush that really shears out easily. Can you sheer it out? Sure, but this is not the blush that I wear when I want a sheer wash of color. This is the blush that I wear when I want some blush on my cheeks, and I love it. It's so, so good. I love this one. Very nice. They did a great job with this formula. Very buttery and creamy. Next, I have a newer formula. This is from Bobbi Brown, and this is the, I don't actually know what the name of the formula is, but it's in a blush stick like this. You guys have probably seen these hit the shelves over the last, I don't know, quarter, 6 months or so. This is the shade Flirty Peach, also a peach shade. I also like the pink one that they have. Now, this is definitely more of a sheerer option. So if you want a little more sheer wash of color, do you see the difference? Like you can clearly see how sheer this is and how more pigmented this is. This is really beautiful. It gives, I have it on today actually. This gives the skin that dewy, wet look. It doesn't dry down. I did set it with a little powder blush today, but again, if you have dry skin, you will love this. If you have oily skin, probably not. This I would also recommend as a product that would pair really well on the days where you don't want to wear foundation or you just want to wear that tinted SPF. Because similar to the strobe bronzer, liquid bronzer, it just blends out so nicely and like sheerly that it's not going to look odd if you're not wearing foundation and you throw a little bit of this on. I would kind of compare it honestly to like the Jones Road, that look that Jones Road Miracle Bombs give, but definitely not at that consistency. The Jones Road Miracle Bombs are definitely tackier and stickier. This is not. This is very lightweight. It's just beautiful. I love it. It's very, very nice. I highly recommend these. And I think these might even be approved for the lips too. But love this. This is the shade Flirty Peach. Okay, let's talk about some powder bronzers. And I'm actually a little disappointed because I don't have a matte powder bronzer. So I'm gonna recommend one and we'll put it on screen. But let's talk first about the Say Beauty Super Suede Radiant Blush Powders. This is the shade Mia. I love these. Similar to those bronzers, they just give that really soft, radiant look to the skin. Not super pearly, not a big highlighting blush, but a little bit of a sheen. I love this color. It's a really pretty kind of rose mauve pink. It's buildable, so it's very easy to work with. If you're a beginner, you will love this. This can work on those days where you want a very light application and a light makeup day, or you can pack it on with a more dense brush and get a lot of blush. So very versatile and flexible in that sense. I also wanted to recommend the Ilia blushes. These are the soft focus blurring blushes. And I almost hesitated because I do feel like these are kind of similar and they did launch at a similar time. But I would say that The Ilia have more of a highlight to them. So if you want a little more highlight from your blush, this is a good option. This is the shade Flutter. It's a soft peachy, but do you see how that gives a highlight to the skin? So these are definitely going to have more of a pearly finish, where the Say have a radiant reflective finish, but not as pearly as the Ilia. But these are both beautiful, soft powder blushes. And I like a soft blush because it gives you that option to build. You know, I really don't like blushes that have a ton of pigment because they are a little more challenging to work with. These are great. Okay, next up we have kind of what I would call a hybrid between a powder and a cream, and that's this MAC blush. Now we can share MAC because MAC is at Sephora. I missed making that announcement earlier when I shared the strobe bronzer, but very exciting that MAC is there. It's so funny. It's like I honestly think MAC getting into Sephora is going to revive that brand. I used to work at MAC. That's where I started. And when I worked back at MAC, those were like the glory days of MAC. Like I felt like the cool girl because I worked at MAC Cosmetics. And I think what we've seen over the last couple of decades is really a shift from that. There's been so many other brands, indie brands. And I personally think MAC has had a hard time like keeping up with that, right? I feel like I don't see as much content covering MAC as, you know, it was like the it brand back then. And I have to say, even though like I hadn't shopped MAC in a while, when I walked into Sephora and I saw the MAC counter there, I just got so giddy and so excited. I bought like 7 MAC products. So I'm excited to shop more of their products there. But this is the cushiony blush, and this is the shade Blush Please. This is a cushiony blush. Do you see that? It's like a little cushion. This is, I wouldn't describe this as a cream, but it's definitely not a powder either. It's a very like sheer cream, so easy to work with. I love these colors. This is the shade Blush Please. I also have this shade, a couple of other shades that I've shared, a peachy shade and then a pinky shade. I can't remember the names, but I'll put them in the description box down below. The only thing I would say about this is I would recommend using a more dense brush like the 109. If you try to use a fluffy brush like the N20 or you try to use like the 112, they're not dense enough to pick this up. You really need something dense to really grab that. You have to put a lot of pressure and grab that product. This gives beautiful color, very sheer and light, a beautiful glow to the skin. It has that pretty sheen to it, which you can kind of see here. These are great. I love these. Very, very nice. I would say these are a good like starter blush to cream. If you haven't used cream before and you've only used powder, I think this would be a great stepping stone to start working with cream blushes. It's beautiful. So this is the Kosas blush in the shade Blush is Life. Maybe that's the name. Anyway, it says Blissed Blush is Life. I'm not sure if the name of the product is called Blissed and the shade name is Blush is Life. Anyway, you get my point. This is so beautiful. It is a baked powder blush. I had it on today. I have like 5 things on my cheeks though, so it's not totally fair, but this is so beautiful. It's just a really soft highlight, gives a little bit of color, a little bit of highlight, really beautiful, very easy to work with. I really love these brands like the Kosas and the Say and the Ilia. They just make products that are effortless and easy and hard to mess up. And that's what I want in my makeup these days. So this one's nice too. Again, it's Blissed Blush is Life. I think the shade is Blush. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It'll be tagged for you. Okay, let's talk about some eye makeup. Now, obviously, this is a category that can get very overwhelming because there's so much to share. Let me talk about actually I have 3 palettes to share with you. We'll start first with like a mini palette. If you want a good little mini tiny palette, great for everyday, great for travel. I love the Natasha Denona Mini Eye Sculpt palette. I don't like the Cool Tone one. The Cool Tone one is more of a recent launch. I bought that one and it's very, very gray, which, you know, I shouldn't be surprised. It's Cool Tone. This is not. This is more neutral and I love this. I will complete like full eye looks just using this, but you can also use this and like use a pearl shade or something to top it off if you want a little accessory to your eye makeup. It's just a really great basic mini palette, great for travel, great for everyday. Love this one. Now I have 2 different products I want to share as like little like jewelry for your eyelids. Like if you, for example, if you do all the mattes, but you're like, you know what, I want a little sparkle on the lid. This is an oldie but a goodie, you guys. This is the Urban Decay Moon Dust in the shade Space Cowboy. Nikki did my makeup for the Grammys and used this, and it was just like, oh, it was so perfect. It gives a really beautiful glisten. Do you see that? But it's not heavy at all. It's very sheer. Oh, it's so gorgeous. You just take your finger and pop that over whatever eyeshadow you're wearing, and it completely changes the look. And it gives a high impact without a heavy foiled metallic look. Really, really beautiful. I think everyone needs to have this. It's so good. I also love the new Kosas. What are these? The Haloed Shiny Objects? Or no, these are called Shiny Objects. The color is called Haloed, and this color is called Gilded. I have this on my eyes today. So today I am wearing, what am I wearing on my eyes? Oh, okay, so on my eyes today, I'm wearing what I'm about to share with you, which is this Merit Beauty Solo Shadow. And then I have a little bit of the bronzer, the Say Beauty Super Suede Bronzer in my crease. And then I just took a little bit of this with my finger and tapped it on the center of my lid and kind of blended it out. These are so beautiful, you guys. You can use your fingers to apply them, or you can just use, a brush. They're gorgeous, high shine. They're so pretty. I love these. These are really great. I would definitely recommend getting one of these. This is like your good, like light kind of, I have it on my lid now. Light will go over everything. And then if you're wearing like a neutral bronzy eye, this one was beautiful. So love those two. Now let's talk about a cream shadow. I've got two formulas to share. I already kind of teased you and showed you the Merit Beauty Solo Shadows are fantastic. This is the shade Vachetta. I love it. It's just a warm kind of peanut buttery brown. These, the only thing you need to do is make sure that you really lock them and close them because they will dry down or dry out. So if you are using this and applying this, make sure you put that lid on right away. Don't leave it sitting on your vanity until you do all your makeup and then you close it. You don't want to dry it out. You have about 20 seconds to play with these and blend them out. Once they dry down though. So again, work quickly because if you don't blend it out and then you try and go 20 seconds, 25 seconds later, you're going to have a hard time blending it out. So that's just the one caveat. Work quickly. I think who would love this would be an oily skin. Who might not love it would be a really dry skin. This might be a dry formula for you. I also want to recommend the Makeup by Mario cream shadows. We know I love these. And my favorite one, this is the one I always talk about, so I can't leave it out. This is the shade Rich Mauve. This is the shade Taupe. Love this one too. And this is the shade Bisque. I also love the shade Sandstone. Those four are my go-tos. This is a cream formula. It has a doe foot applicator. This also dries down very quickly, so I would recommend doing one eye at a time. The other day, I put this on both eyes, and my AC was blowing, so I had air blowing like right above me, and by the time I got to my second eye, I struggled to get it to blend out. Again, I don't think really dry skin is going to love this formula because it is so drying, but the benefits of that is that it stays on all day. It's oil proof, it's sweat proof, it's waterproof, it's all the things, so it lasts. Now, typically when I wear either any of these, I don't really pack shadow on top of it. I really think that's unnecessary, and I also think that leads to having a drier looking eyelid throughout the day. These can work as primers, but I really suggest embracing these as your eyeshadows. So what I'll do is I'll put these all over the lid, and then maybe I'll take a shadow and put it in my crease. Maybe I'll take a little shimmer and pop it on the lid, but I'm not going in with a powder palette and completely covering these with eyeshadow. If you do that, just apply this appropriately. So apply a very thin layer of this, okay? But you don't want to over apply this and then apply a bunch of powder on top of it. That's just kind of my opinion. Of course, Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Shadow Sticks have to be in this video. I think it's just my favorite Longwear Cream Shadow Stick. It's creamy, it blends out so beautifully. Once it dries down, it stays in place. It's easy. They have a ton of beautiful colors. I have this shade Taupe because I've been wearing it a lot. It's a really pretty neutral kind of matte. There's no shimmer to it. Look at that. It's just beautiful. You can blend it out with your finger for ease. Now, these are ones that I will layer a powder shadow on top if I want. I wear them by themselves too, but this formula is not as drying as like the Merit Beauty or the Makeup by Mario. So this actually would be a really great cream shadow that is more for like the drier skins. I think this is what I would recommend. So good. Okay, so let's close it out with two eyeshadow palettes. Let's start with the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes Neutral. This should be no surprise. I love this palette. I use it in a lot of my videos. You get, how many shadows do you get? Do you get 12? You get 12 shadows. They're all matte, so there's no shimmer here, which, may be a deal breaker for you, but I think that everybody needs a good matte neutral palette. Whether it's something small and mini like this is really all you need, or you want something more extensive that gives you more variety. This, in my opinion, would be all you need. Great formulas. They blend out beautifully. Great pigment payoff. Very easy to work with. Good balance of neutral shades. You have some shades in here that lean a little warmer. You have some shades in here that leans a little cooler, but it's not like a bright, warm orange palette, and it's not like a, deep, cool gray palette either. It's really beautiful and wearable, and I find that I can create an entire look with this, or I can create the foundation of my eye makeup and then pop a little bit of this on top or something if I want some shimmer. Okay, now this palette just recently launched from Rare Beauty. And as I'm saying this, we might need to cut this from the video because this might be an Ulta exclusive. I know when it launched, it was Ulta exclusive. So I don't know if you can get this at Sephora. I'm gonna leave this in anyway. If this is not at the Sephora savings event, don't kill me. But I love this palette and I'm gonna recommend it. It's the Rare Beauty little palette. It's warm neutrals. You get 8 of them. You have a good variety of like shimmer shades in here. Then you've got some matte shades. These formulas are beautiful, especially the shimmer, really creamy, just pearly. Fantastic. And I love the shades here. I feel like you have a really great shade for liner here, either one of these. It's warm, but it's not like orangey. I love this. I've been wearing this a ton, but again, I hope this is at Sephora. It's the Essentials Neutrals Eyeshadow Palette. Don't be mad at me if I'm telling you this and you can't get it there. I just had that thought, but this is gonna stay in the video because I love this, and you can always hop at Ulta and buy this too. Okay, you guys, let's talk about mascaras. I'm gonna keep this super simple and easy for you, you guys. I'm just gonna recommend 2 mascaras. We've got the Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye. This will probably be in every Sephora video that I ever make for these sales. This is what I'm gonna be picking up. I'm gonna be restocking this. I love this mascara. Length, volume, wispiness. You get to spread the lash. It just gives a very like fluttery looking lash, which I love. So, so good. And then also the new YSL Lash Latex Mascara. This is what I have on now. I'm loving this one too, you guys. This one is really great. The only like con of this, I would say, is that I do go through this pretty quickly. Like I feel like after 4 or 5 weeks, the formula is starting to dry out and it's time for me to replace it. I've already replaced it once, maybe twice, but I will be restocking this. It's really great. I love the wand. Let me actually show you both wands so you can compare the two. The wand on the Bobbi Brown is kind of more like your traditional, like kind of, you know, traditional old school mascara wand, and the Lash Latex is more of that refined kind of skinnier wand with little skinnier teeth. I feel like the Lash Latex really grabs and coats each lash. The Bobbi Brown gives more of a wispy, fluttery look. Neither one of them, I would say, are clumping. I think both of them you can build up really well and not have a clumpy, unflattering look. I love them both. I also love the Rare Beauty mascara. I don't have that one here. That one's inside, but that just came to me as I'm talking, so I'll put that here on screen. That has a fatter wand, and that gives a lot of volume, but that gives a really fat, beautiful lash. I love that one too. And I would say that gives a wispy looking lash similar to the Bobbi Brown, but the Bobbi Brown's still my absolute favorite. So good. Okay, you guys, we've talked about eyeshadow, we've talked about mascara, liners. I don't have a ton of liners to share, you guys. I'm gonna share 3 of them here. So of course, my Fenty Beauty Puppy Eyes. This is just my most worn eyeliner. I'm gonna grab backups of these. Look at that pretty metallic bronze finish on this. It's just beautiful. You know, I love this. I think it's dark enough to define the eyes, but it's very soft, so it's not harsh on the eyes. I love this. I think that if you don't want to wear eyeshadow, you can line your eyes with this pencil, and this pencil is going to do what eyeshadow would do for your eyes. It's going to just bring light to the eyes. It's so, so beautiful, and it's really soft and creamy. I also love their Fine Lines Precision Gel Liner in a pencil, and this is the shade, what shade is this? Truffle, in Big Truffle. It has a little sponge tip applicator on the other side, which works really well to smudge, and it's a fine tip. Okay, so this is a dark brown, but it's very fine, very pigmented, very creamy. If you like a tight line, I love these. This formula is fantastic. And then I also want to share the Urban Decay 24/7. These are just the OG holy grails of eyeliners. They're creamy, they glide on smooth, you have time to work with them and manipulate them, but once they dry down, they really do stay in place. This is the shade Smog. I also love the shade Bourbon. So today on my eyes, I lined my eyes first with the Fenty Beauty to get a lot of definition, and then I softened it with Smog. I wouldn't normally do that, both. You could certainly do that, but I wanted to show and, you know, demonstrate the 2 liners for you for this video. I also lined my lower lash line with Smog. Anytime you use a metallic eyeliner like the Smog or the Fenty Beauty Puppy Eyes, it's beautiful on the lower lashes because it's soft and it reflects light, so it doesn't look harsh, it doesn't close the eye off. But I love these. Great, great, great liners. Okay, you guys, let's get over to lips, shall we? Lots of lips I could recommend. I'm gonna keep it simple just because, you know, I'm gonna keep it simple. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. Let's talk about a new lip product that I've been loving. The Hung Van Gogh Glossy Lip Hues are so nice, you guys. They've got a lot of pigment. They're very nourishing on the lips. A little bit is all you need. I think my only complaint is I can over apply this. You just need to put a little bit like on the bottom lip and then just use the applicator to spread it. I love the applicator. It's so nice. It's like this cool tip applicator. They feel so good on the lips and they're glossy. So it's like a lip gloss and a lip treatment with great color. I find that these have enough color to where I can wear them by themselves with a little lip liner. The other day I lined my lips. I filled my lips in with a lip liner. I put this on top and the color actually lasted longer than you would expect a product like this to last. They're really great. I have the shade Worth Every Penny, which I love. And I think I have another one in here. I'm going to list the other shade that I've been wearing a lot down below. I don't see it here, but it's really pretty too. It's a really pretty wearable pink. These are so great. He did a fantastic job with these. Highly recommend. Okay, I still want to recommend to you my Lancome Lippy Doll. I think these are called Butter Glow. I wear these all the time. They are like lip balms with great color to them. They're shiny, they're comfortable on the lips. This is usually what I will wear to the gym. I'll have one of these in my purse for the gym. I'll throw a little bit on, mainly to like nourish my lips, but also they give a little bit of color. They're so great. They're so great. If you want a really hydrating sheer lipstick, these are fantastic. And this is the shade 36. And I love it. It's a really pretty pink. These are so great. I love these. Like I've already gotten down pretty low in there. I don't know if you can see, but again, when I get a lot of wear out of my products, that is an indication that that is a product I love because I have so many products. Okay, I want to share a couple of MAC lipsticks that I bought recently that I've been loving and I want to recommend you check out during the Sephora sale. So first up, we have the MAC Matte Lipstick in the shade Kinda Sexy. I've been wearing this a ton lately and I love it. It's a matte shade that's peachy pink. Because it's matte, it's gonna stay on the lips and have some good longevity, but this is a very comfortable matte. It's not drying at all. I just love this color, it's so beautiful. Just a really light peachy pink, perfect for spring and summer. Then we have the shade Cool Teddy, which is a bit more, if it's a cool tone, right? And it's a good neutral, look at that. A little deeper, more cool, but a good kind of everyday neutral. This one's so nice. I've been wearing this a ton lately too. And then we have the one that I'm wearing today, which is the Luster Glass lipstick. So this has some more shine. This is not matte. And this is the shade Hug Me. And this is beautiful. This is a really great everyday shade. It's just a good neutral kind of, I would say warm, kind of warm mauve rose color. Is that how you describe that? It's really beautiful. It's similar to Cool Teddy, but it's got shine and it's more sheer, right? Those are 3 MAC products that I picked up that I've been loving, those 3 right there. Okay guys, for lip liners, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna just recommend like 2 brands that I love and then I'll name a couple of shades that I have. Makeup by Mario's lip pencils are becoming my favorite. He has a little brush on the end of them, so you can use the brush to smudge and soften the line, which I find myself doing a lot. Great formula. They last all day. They glide onto the lips. They're really beautiful. I love the shade Rich Mauve. I love the shade Hue. I love the shade Johnny. Let me show you. This is Rich Mauve and this is my favorite. That's really pretty. Just a nice kind of, you know, mauve shade. This is the shade Johnny, which is more of a spicy shade. And then, no, I'm sorry, this is the shade Hue. This is Hue, you guys. I'm stand corrected, that's Hue. And then I knew I had the shade Johnny here. What did I do with Johnny? Maybe I don't have it, but that one's definitely more of a cool pink, okay? And then I also want to recommend Dior lip liners. These are a bit of a splurge, but again, if you're going to pick up something splurge worthy during the Sephora sale, that's the best time. These are the Dior lip liners, and I have 2 shades, and they're very similar. I have 329 Nude Blush. These are super creamy. They're almost like a lipstick, you guys. I actually filled my entire lip in with this today, just so that you have longevity. So if you really want your lipstick to last all day, grab a lip pencil, fill in your entire lip, then put your lipstick or your gloss on. Isn't that pretty? So this is the shade 329 Nude Blush. And then this is the shade 259 Nude Ribbon. Very similar. You don't need them both. I would say the difference is Nude Ribbon has a little bit more warmth and it's a little lighter. So I actually like that one better. I do like that one. That's Nude Ribbon. That's the one I like a little better, but they're both fantastic. So creamy, great formula. And they also have a brush on the other end too. So love and highly recommend those. Okay, you guys, let's talk about highlighters. I have 2 highlighters that I want to share with you. I'm not a super highlighty person. Does that make sense? Meaning I don't really use highlight products a lot. But if you are and you want a good recommendation for one, I would highly recommend the Dior, this little palette. This is like a viral product, the Backstage. And this is the 01 Universal. This is like the original. You get 4 shades here. I've used these all the time. I actually used a little bit of this one in the outer corner of my eye today. I just remembered that. I'll use them for the eyes. I'll use them for the face. They're a really lightweight texture and formula. So it's not a heavy foiled kind of frosty shadow, which we don't want. We don't want that. I think that's so dated, but also like at 43, like I can't do that. Can't do that. I don't want to walk around looking like the Tin Man, right? But this will give you that kind of lit from within glow, but pretty impactful, right? Without looking heavy. Love these. Now, if you want, I'm going to grab this because this was actually sent to me in PR recently, and I'm going to gift it because I have these already and backups. The Say Beauty Glowy Super Gel, you guys. This is a beautiful formula, and this is like, let me open it. Oh, I'm going to put a little on. This is a beautiful formula because of how unique it is. Oh, these are really in here in this PR packaging. So it's in here. Let me see if I can get one out without like breaking a nail here. This is a gel formula, but what's great about this is it dries down, so it doesn't feel sticky or tacky. I'm gonna get this out. I'll be right back. Hang on. Okay, got it out. Look at my hair. That was quite the struggle. Okay, this is the shade Rose Glow. I think they come in a couple of shades, but this is a liquid illuminator. It's a gel formula. It does dry down though, which is really nice. But do you see how light and sheer that is? These are so nice. You can wear these so many different ways. You can wear this all over the face before your foundation, and you will have the most subtle glow from within, okay? You can mix these in with your foundation, and you're gonna have a little bit more impact. Or you can layer these directly on top of your foundation. Let's do that. You can layer this directly on top of your foundation, and it's not gonna disrupt or mess up the products that you have on. Let's just do like, let me do on my nose here because I already have a lot of highlight here. So I'm just gonna tap it on my makeup. Do you see what that did? It just really gives this lit from within, like undetectable glow. Like if you were to look up close to me, and I didn't even really blend that out. I just kind of tapped with my finger. I didn't blend. You can clearly see the highlight, but you can't see the makeup. It's really nice, you guys. This is beautiful. I think this is a beautiful highlight for mature skin because of how sheer and lightweight it is and just how easy it is to work with. So if you want a good liquid highlighter, I would do the Say Glow, the Say Super Dewy Glow, whatever they're called. It'll be tagged down below. And this is the shade Rose Glow, which is nice. It has a bit of a rosy color to it. I like the original, the first one. I forget the name of it, the shade name, but I'll link that down below. I think they have 3 shades. I think they have this one. I think they have like a bronzy shade, and then they have the original, and I like the original best. Okay, my friends, I realize I need to give you some more lip gloss recommendations. So I have 3 glosses here, and I do feel like they're pretty different. Let's start first with the Patrick Ta. This is the Silky Lip Cream, and I really hesitate even calling this a gloss because it's really not. It's more like a liquid lipstick, but not a dry down liquid lipstick. Like this is like it's like a gloss and a lipstick is what it is because it's got a lot of shine. It comes in a glossy applicator, but it's super, super pigmented. So this is something that you would wear by itself. You wouldn't put a lipstick underneath because you would completely cover it with how pigmented this is. These are really beautiful. It's not like a liquid lipstick in the sense that it dries down and works like a longwear stain. It's more like a liquid lipstick with some gloss to it is best how I would describe it. It's really, really beautiful. This is the shade Flushed. It's been a while since I've worn this, but this is really beautiful. I'm actually going to keep this and put it in my bag because these are really nice. If you like a lot of color and shine, I recommend those. I've really been into the Rare Beauty glosses lately. These are very lightweight, and these are really nice toppers to put on top of a lipstick. This one has a little bit of pearl to it. It's the shade Glimmer, and they're just really nice. I like the applicator. It's got some flexibility to it. You can sheer it out so it can really just kind of slightly, highlight and gloss over your favorite lip color and add some shine to it. But if you want to layer it and wear it, alone with a lip liner, you're going to get some good color. The longevity is not there though. It's like a standard lip gloss. So if you don't wear it with a lipstick and you just wear it with a lip, by itself or with a liner, you'll have more touch-ups needed. But it's really beautiful. Very lightweight, smells yummy. Love this one. And then I really love these from Bobbi Brown. These are the Bobbi Brown like like, what are they called? Vitamin Enriched something. I have just in the kind of the universal clear color. They also come in colors. These feel like a lip treatment and a gloss in one. They're so, so nice. So this is a product you can use at night before you go to bed on your lips, and your lips are just gonna feel like they've been wrapped in the most nourishing ingredients for your lips. Really plump and moisturize and hydrate the lips. They're so, so nice. Very sheer though. So the colors that they come in are very, very sheer. You put it on the lip, you'll see a little tint of that color, but 20 minutes later, you'll look and that color will kind of have faded. So really look at these as more of a treatment and a shine to the lips, less of like a color. Okay, friends, a couple of setting sprays. When I feel like I'm done, I'm like, oh no, I still need to do this. And I realize skincare, we have to talk about skincare too. Okay, I wanna share 2 setting sprays with you guys. I wanna share the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Matte. I love this one. This is a heavy duty setting spray that mattifies, locks your makeup in all day, gives you a really smooth finish. If you want more of a hydrating setting spray, I really love this one from Makeup Forever. This is the Mist and Fix. I've been using this over the last 2 weeks. Really love this. I think Nikki used this on me recently when she did my makeup. Like this somehow got taken out of my normal like stash and put on my vanity, and that's why I've been using it, and it's really, really good. Nikki likes to layer setting sprays too, so sometimes she'll use like a hydrating one and then set it with something more heavy duty. So that combo would be really good for like those days where you have an event or you have a photo shoot or whatever the occasion might be. That's a really great way to layer setting sprays, get your makeup to last all day, but not have that tight, dry feel to the skin. Okay, you guys, I grabbed this bag actually when I left my like house, which is right outside here. I have a few skincare products that I want to share with you. I don't have a ton of skincare to share. I'm gonna share a few things here that I'm using, and then I will kind of call out some other recommendations that we can put here on screen. But these Glow Recipe Vitamin C Brightening Toner Pads, I've been loving these. I've been sharing these on Instagram over the last month or so. They are so great. You put 3 of them on. You put one underneath the eye here, one under the eye here, and then one on your forehead, and you let it sit for 5 minutes or so. So I'll do this when I get out of the shower and I'm about to brush my teeth or whatever, you know, and before I apply my skincare, I'll put these on. It's a really great way to get that vitamin C into the skin. They just feel good. I like to keep mine in my fridge. Very nice. Love these. If you want a good essence, you guys, this one is so good. This is the SK2 Facial Treatment Essence. This, I haven't used this in a while. There were a couple years where I was using this consistently every day, and I'm going to start using it again because I will say I noticed a brightness happening in my skin when I was consistent with this. So this would be like your first step after cleansing your skin before you go in with any other serums or moisturizers. You just splash some of this on your face. It's very lightweight like water, so I put a little bit in my hand, and then I kind of just do this, and then I just go straight to the face so it doesn't fall off. And then I'll apply a little bit on my neck and on my chest. This has an ingredient in it that really brightens the skin. It's kind of pricey. I think it's like $100, or maybe the larger bottle's $160 or something. So it's definitely pricey. There are some other essences that I love that are not as pricey. But when I'm thinking of Sephora essences, I really love this one, and it's good. And then I love the Dew Air Angel Hydrating Gel Cream. In fact, I love most of the products I've tried from this brand. I think it's called their Instant Angel like face cream. I'll put it here on screen. I love that as a moisturizer too. I have that somewhere. It's not here in my studio, but I love that one. It's a really great moisturizer, fragrance-free. A lot of their products are fragrance-free, and they're at really good price points. Like they're not super expensive. They're great products at really accessible price points. This is a gel cream, so it's a lightweight moisturizer in a gel formula. So if you have oily skin, I could see you really enjoying a product like this because it doesn't feel heavy at all on the skin, but it's hydrating. I will layer this like on the days where my skin feels really dry. I'll go in with like an essence. Then I'll do something like this. This would kind of replace a hyaluronic serum to me. Then I would go in with my moisturizer. Or if I am, doing makeup and I don't want a lot, like let's say I did my skincare in the morning and I'm gonna do makeup 3 hours later and my skin feels dry. I'll go and kind of prep it and plump it before makeup with something like this. This could also double as like a really great primer for your makeup. It's really fantastic. Check this brand out if you're looking for new skincare to try. I love their products. They're fantastic. Okay, friends, I think we're gonna stop there because otherwise I'm gonna be like sitting here for another 3 hours and I'm gonna overwhelm you and your head will be spinning and you'll be like, what do I even buy? She's not even making sense. So if you have made it to the end of this video, please drop a comment down below and say, I'm still here. here. Leave any questions you have about the sale or products. I'll do my best to go through and answer your questions. Thank you guys for being here with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely will have more videos coming throughout the sale. I'm going to try and cover the sale pretty well this year. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.